Hi guys, coming to you here on Divine Mercy Sunday, hoping that you guys got to enjoy Mass with Father either last night or today. If you didn't make it to Mass, you can always go to YouTube, join as a subscriber to Assumption Catholic Church, and you can go back and watch any of the Mass services that Father has done. Well, this week in the decision point, we're on Session 5, and we're going to talk about sections 8 and 9 today. So in your workbook, you'll need to answer the questions out of Session 5, sections 8 and 9, and turn those in. Well, Matthew Kelly makes reference to the Willy Wonka movie in the first session here, Session 8. He goes through and explains what happens, that Charlie got a winning ticket, and he got to go see Willy Wonka's factory, and he took his grandpa with him, and everything was good. They were the last ones to get to take the tour, and when they went in there and he showed them as much as he was going to show them, and then there was no chocolate, they wanted to know what happened. And what it boiled down to was that there was no chocolate. And on the way out of the factory, they ran into, I guess, the arch rival of Willy Wonka. If you guys have watched the movie, you'll know who that is, Slugworth or somebody like that. I never watched the movie. But he was asking for the everlasting gobstopper, and Charlie had one in his pocket. And Slugworth promised him pretty much anything he wanted if he would just give him that gobstopper. Well, Charlie didn't want to do it. His grandpa wanted him to because he was really upset with Willy Wonka for not following through with what he had guaranteed them in the contest. Charlie went back to Willy Wonka and gave him the everlasting gobstopper. And so that was an example of someone doing the right thing when they clearly had the opportunity to not do the right thing. So the thing that Willy Wonka said to Charlie after he left the gobstopper was, "So shines a good deal in a weary world." And, a good deed. How many times can you think of that would be the case today of how many opportunities there are for you to do the wrong thing? And when you do the right thing, it's like a ray of sunshine out there. It's something that this world really needs right now. So who are you going to listen to? Who's going to impact the decisions that you make in your future? Is it going to be someone like Willy Wonka or Slugworth or even Grandpa, because Charlie's grandpa wanted him to do the wrong thing? Who is it that's going to guide you in your decision making? So I would offer to you that it should be the Holy Spirit that helps you make any of your decisions. Allow the Holy Spirit to influence every decision you make, to make yourself the best version of you. And if you do this, allow the Holy Spirit in to make all of your decisions, you'll just do the next right thing. All right, then Session 9 is titled Countercultural. And you know, our culture right now is pretty messed up. And Mr. Kelly offers the story about when the first Christians started spreading Christianity, that there were just thousands and thousands of people following them. And why was that? Well, the culture in those days was cold. Love was not abound in the culture. It was just a very cold culture. And Christianity is not like that. Christianity is a warm culture. And so you can imagine that people living in the presence of a cold culture would welcome that possibility of a warm culture with love and relationships. So that's why Christianity was so popular in the early Christian days. They set themselves apart from that culture. Culture was cold, they were warm. So they were completely different from that culture. And Jesus encourages us to walk apart from the culture. Matthew Kelly makes an example of a broken sewer pipe. You know, if you had a broken sewer pipe in your house, you can imagine how bad it would smell, and it would be just disgusting. And he said he wrote an article about this and said, well, how is the broken sewer pipe different from television in today's culture? You know, we all walk in and we sit down and watch television shows that we probably shouldn't watch. And I'll allude to what one of my best friends said, that she's always done with her children and now her grandchildren. She has a sign on top of her TV that says, "Would you watch this with Jesus?" And it stays on the TV. So that if you're going to watch a show on the TV, you're going to have to recognize that whatever it is that you're watching, Jesus is watching along with you. And is that something that you feel comfortable with? So he said, why was the broken sewer pipe any more of an emergency than fixing television in our culture today? And if you stop to think about it, the way he described it was, well, maybe with the broken sewer pipe we could get used to it, and maybe the smell wouldn't bother us, and maybe the children would just start playing in the sludge from the broken sewer pipe. I would certainly hope not. But the same thing, if you think about some of the shows on television today, you can relate that to the broken sewer pipe and see that it needs to be fixed. So if you're sitting down and watching television shows that you know you shouldn't, change it or turn it off. Find something else to do. Read a book. Read the Bible. Go to a website that you can listen to Catholic youth rallies or Catholic youth activities or Catholic youth speakers to encourage you. So Matthew Kelly's challenge, it was for himself, but he challenges anyone, is to unplug the TV for a month. He says, don't just turn it off. Unplug it, because if it's just turned off, you'll just go turn it back on. He said, just unplug the TV and see what happens to your life, what happens to your relationships and your family and your culture at home. There would be massive changes, I assure you. He said, with us, it doesn't have to be the television. We need to find something that is a countercultural beachfront for us. What is it that we could change, that we follow along with in our culture, that we could actually give up or we could change to make that countercultural change? And if you do make this countercultural change, it'll help you celebrate the best version of yourself. All right? If you sit down at that television and you don't make any changes, or if you hang out with friends that you know are not good influences for you, that's not countercultural. You have to be countercultural. Okay? Make that best version of you, and that's the one way that you're going to do it. And the church itself, the Catholic Church, is absolutely countercultural. Doesn't go along with any of this stuff that's happening. The church wants to help you walk with God. And it's doing that by remaining countercultural. The church is not going to change to go along with the fads of today. The church will remain steadfast to its beliefs. So he encourages you, and I encourage you, to explore Catholicism. Right now is a great time to do it because I know you have extra time. And explore the Catholic Church. Research it. Look at the Catechism. Look at what the church stands for. If you truly do that, and you really know what the church is about and the foundation of the Catholic Church, there's no way you can leave it. I promise you, there's no way you can leave it if you really, really explore and find everything you can know about the Catholic Church and the Catechism. So take another look at Christ. Take another look at the church. Thank you, guys. Stay safe and healthy, and I hope to see you soon.